We're out here today for Motorboats Monthly aboard the brand new Sunseeker San Remo. Now this is a really interesting test because recently we've tested Princess's brand new V48 and Fairline's brand new Targa 48, and this really is Sunseeker's equivalent. It's around the same sort of length, she's around 50 feet long, similar beam, and she's got the IPS 600 engines, the same as the other two. So we're going to put her through her paces and we're going to see how she compares. We're out here today in about a force 4 to 5. It's actually quite calm, but there's a bit of chop on the surface, and it's good testing conditions. Enables us to really throw the boat around and feel how it behaves. Now it's really interesting that although these boats are all very similar concept, they've all got their own way of doing things, and the feeling with this Sunseeker very much is that it's the sporty one. It's a little bit lower, it's a little bit sleeker, it's a little bit sharper looking. You get a very slight compromise in the mid-cabin as a result, but the boat looks and drives brilliantly. Top speed is about the same, she'll do about 30 knots flat out, the same as the other two, but she really does cut through the water nicely. She seems to ride very flat, very firm, she handles impeccably. There's a real precise feel to the helm, corners very nicely, it just does feel like a driving machine. The one thing that I do notice is how dry it is. Despite our best efforts, we've got virtually no spray over the boat, and that means we've got to run with the roof open, which is really great. And it's just a boat that you can come out and have a lot of fun with. We're back here in port now, and I'll give you a run through of this boat. Basically the layout of the cockpit is pretty conventional. There's a large sunbed at the back of the boat, and there's a garage underneath there that would take up to a Williams 325, so a very good sized rib. There's a wet bar on this side and a conventional seating area over here, but where it does get a little bit more interesting is further forward. What they've done with the San Remo is try and keep the profile nice and low. So in order to get the room in the aft cabin, they've raised this area here. But they've still put a seat in here, so it's a proper double forward-facing seat, and it's actually surprisingly comfortable. The other thing of note is this roof. Rather than the canvas roof that the rivals are using in this style of boat, this has actually got a carbon fibre roof with inset glass panels, and it makes this area very light and very comfortable. The idea of the carbon fibre is that that won't warp, so that if you put the boat in a very hot climb, that will still run perfectly. Down here, the layout again, pretty conventional for this style of boat. It's got the scissor berths in the forward cabin, it's got this dinette area here, and then you've got the owner's cabin back aft. But what this boat really excels at is typical Sunseeker flair. So you've got these wonderful light woods that they put in. They've put these great big windows in the hull, which really do give a fantastic amount of light into this area. And it's just attention to detail really. It's areas like this, it's the stainless steel lit trim up the side over there. It just gives the boat a really nice ambience. So this is the master cabin, and this is the payoff for that sporty styling. You don't get the headroom that you get in some of the other boats. This here is a little bit lower, and if you step up to here, of course, you've got even less. Personally, I don't care. I think it's a trade-off well worth making. I think the style of this boat, it is a sports cruiser after all, is worth losing this little bit of headroom for. I really like what Sunseeker have done with this boat. I think they've done a great job of imbuing it with a kind of style and little touches that really make their boat stand out.